Welcome back to MCOC Al Bundy Rules. I have Chapter 3 now of the event quest for July 2021. Already got Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 out, so this is 3.1 and 3.2. Going to take a look at the path. Nodes, we see Cosmic Attackers. Total of 3 of the Fury Armor Up or Precision buffs. Gain Aptitude, max of 10. Pump and Iron Defender takes 60% less damage when an attacker has no buffs applied to him. So I need Cosmics. I need buff-heavy Cosmics. I need Cosmics that can get and keep the buffs relatively easy is what I'm looking at. So we will take a look at the team. Going to look up at the Hercules. We see Feat of Endurance, True Focus, Empowered Immunity, Insult to Injury 3, Make a Stand 3 are the things we're looking at. Going to take a better look at those before the fight, but I'm bringing primarily Dragon Man for the boss fight, and I'm bringing a team of Cosmics to clear the path. Going to be starting up on the first fight now, which is going to be Electra. So my Cosmic champs were ones that I know I can get buffs relatively easy on. I'm going to start off. I'm going to activate a pre-fight for Odin, which is the indefinite aptitude buff, and I'm going to go ahead and apply it on Hela, which very much enjoyed this little dynamic duo between Odin and Hela. So what I'm going to do is start off doing some mediums primarily, build up my little orange charge thingy-majiggies. And then once I'm comfortable, I'm going to start doing the heavies to build up those Furies. That is the plan. Alright. Gonna go ahead, and again, the game is still really bugged with parry. Also, some of the decks initially seem to be bugged as well, so be taking a little bit more blocking than I normally would. Just the game is pretty broken right now. Pretty broken, so working around it and making the best of it. And what I want to do now is get out that S2 from Electra is desired. There we go. So charge a heavy, let's do another heavy, and I'm getting those Furies of smacked her with as she came on in, and look at those Furies building. And I'm going to build up once she comes running in S2, and look at this. 230k on the last hit of that S2 alone without even a crit. Pretty nice right there. So Hela destroyed that fight. Got her little built up, and smacky dab dab, down they went. So now looking on the next fight as I stay on the easy path. Gonna go on to Sentinel now. Sentinel. Looking at who I want to use. And I decided let's go ahead and use Odin. Odin is someone who hasn't gotten anywhere near enough love, even after his Reach Weak buff, which made him even better than I loved him before. For some reason, people just kind of focus a lot on his synergies, thinks he's just a team champ. He on himself is extremely good. I got a tutorial on him how to use them, to include his pre and post buff tutorials. I recommend checking out his post buff tutorial, see what he can do, and to understand what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. Definitely check out that tutorial. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get him built up. I'm going for a certain process as I'm building up his buffs. Again, you got to have buffs to get the damage going on. I am trying to bait out that S1 right now, while we see Sentinel is being super stingy. Come on, send it on out, dude. At least the Dex team seems to be working a little better right there. And here we go. So I just build myself up to an S3 now. Again, I give a very good explanation to run down on how to use this awesome champ on my tutorial video. Check out my champion tutorials playlist. Got about 50 of them in there. Alphabetical, nice and easy to find. Completely missed on my heavy there. I don't know what the heck happened there. Alright, so getting some build up. I'm going to line them up for a heavy in a moment. There we go. Get that Odin Force. So I got 2 Odin Forces ready, so I'm ready to do a special. I'm seeing Sentinel is still at 27%, so I'll probably work my way up to an S2. And let's go ahead and get this S2 rocking and rolling. And that easily did what I needed done. So down that fight goes. So let us move on to the third fight of this path, which is going to be Ronin. Ronin with an A. The fact there's another Ronin with an I always confuses me between the two of them. I always have to ask the Avenger or the blue guy. Anyway, so this will be the blue guy, the one with the A. So let's get into Carnage. I decided to bring in Carnage just kind of for fun. I decided to kind of test him out, see how he would do here. Wasn't 100% sure. Figured I'd build up his buffs. Although in order to build up his buffs, I have to do specials. So I'm going to be taking a good amount of recoil damage along the way as I build them up. Figured if nothing else, give him a shot. He's quickly showing he's not going to be overly sustainable for this path that looks like I'm already down to 77%, and I've barely even done anything. If you are curious on how I am using him and how I'm building up his buff, specifically the theories, check out the tutorial I have on him. Got a nice tutorial showing how to use him. Very underrated champ, great champ. It's just a matter of building up his buffs correctly, which I'm in the process of doing right now, building up those theories. But in order to do it, I have to launch specials, and running suicides and recoil makes him take some beans. But we do see I'm up to the 3 theories now. The unblockables doing some nice damage. Finally getting him worked up. He's doing, and I just completely was so worried about getting him worked up and sustainability. I just got clipped by an S1 somehow. Such an easy one to dex. I don't know how I missed that one. So, oh well, that did not work out as planned. I was just getting him going too. Oh well, I will bring in my Hyperion to finish off this Ronin. And should most likely be an easy one. Hyperion's always a good fit for these kind of nodes. Build up the buff, super easy, parry and heavy, and there you go. Although it works better when I can parry. As we see, I took a punch and a kick to the head, as parry is still very, very, very broken. Alright. We'll try to work around it in a lot of fights, but on using champs who rely on the parry heavy strategy gets a little bit annoying. Especially someone like Hyperion. Becomes much more difficult to use while the parry is broken. Anyway, down that fight goes. Nice and simple again. Pretty much all of these cosmic champs I brought should be good for most of the fights on the paths for this. I'm not really using special champs for special fights on this path for the most part. If I do, I'll let you know. But I'm not thinking any of it's going to be too needed. I do have Hyperion here, and I could use Armor Break if I need it on Iron Man Infinity War. So with Armor Break could be helpful here, but then again, not necessarily mandatory. As long as at that 15%, you heavy counter heavies, you're good to go. And I completely just messed up that S2. Get a little dexterity going on. And get that heavy counter and heavy, trying to build up some furies right about there. And I just messed that one up yet again. Let's do some smacky dabby S3, choke him face first, head slam, and then out into outer space. Dang, that's gotta hurt. But guess what? Good old Infinity War gets right on up. But heavy counter heavy. I'll see we're at S2, getting my guy, got my aptitudes building up as well. And let's go ahead and get those heavies, get those furies, getting some better damage. Got some armor break right there with that S2. Went ahead and gave him a nice right hook when he was running in on me. That's always satisfying. We see the stun, so I did an S2, try to get another S2 in. There we go, hopefully get that. There we go, baited out. I got that a little closer for comfort than I should have as far as to the S3. Speaking of which, let's give an S3 of my own now. So again, choke him, slam him, fly on up, and pound town. KO, there we go. So that fight is in the books. So we're looking on now as I get ready for the next fight, trying to clear this path in 3.1 of July 2021 Event Quest Cavalier difficulty. Again, saving my Dragon Man for the end for the boss fight. Just figured he'd be a good fit. Not major reasons in specific, just wanted to. Bring it for that, see how he does. But in the meantime, let's break out my good old Hella again. Got her as an R2 6-star. I'm seriously considering bringing her to R3. It was actually between her and Cole. Hella, I've always liked her, but especially with the Odin synergy, she's just ridiculous. However, I did end up going with Cole as an R3 over Hella just by a smidge. I love them both a lot. But next time I get a Cosmic T5C, I will definitely have my eye on Hell as a possible R3. On that first fight, we got a basic idea why, and that was damage without crits. And we're going to take another look this fight and see how well she does. Just a matter of building up those charges, getting those theories going on up. Oops, I was a little slow on my release there, took some hits, and I for some reason was charging in. I'm just doing some sloppy play right here, but I'll go ahead and bring her up to an S3. Got lots of theories going on, so I'm expecting this S3 to do a good chunk of damage. And it did. I was actually hoping for a little bit more, but that's okay. I have all those theories, so those mediums we saw was doing 50 and 30k mediums right there, so that finished them off nice and quick. If I didn't get all the damage I wanted, especially guess what, those basic attacks when she's built up like that just get brutal. Brutal. She wasn't even built up that high, but enough to do 50k mediums. Gotta love that. So now let us bring out big boy Odin. Got the Odin sleep going on, so he gets that aptitude bonus, which is going to be good for these nodes. Breaking down my heavies, get that energized going on. And there we go, hit him, got energized. Just taking the block damage right there, no biggie. Get some hits. Break out my S1 to get a true strike and a buff. Try to do a parry there, and I got down, took several hits. Let's go ahead and do that special. The heavy attack. I'm at 2 of the energizes, so I went ahead and did an S2. See what kind of damage. Got a little over 50k total on that S2. Not too bad considering he's not even really built up. I was honestly hoping for a little bit more, but still pretty respectable. However, let's get him back going again, and should be getting this fight over fairly near future. Now I'm deciding if I want to do another S2 or if I want to work him up to an S3 and really build him up. I decided to go with the S2, and meanwhile take a hit based on an unblockable special. I just kind of stood there and took it like an idiot. Not the best movement. Then again, the game's movements and controls are so broken right now. Just kind of think I just let it go and just give up and take a few hits just for fun. Just get it out of the way. I know I'm going to take him eventually when a parry doesn't work or a Dex kind of does something weird. So anyway, go ahead and wrap up that fight as Odin finishes off Psycho Man. Alright. Psycho Man reminds me of Psycho Dad, who, if any of you know my name reference in Al Bundy, will know who Psycho Dad is, and will know that song I was just kind of singing, Psycho Man. Okay, so let's look at Hercules. Attack, health, feat of endurance. The defending Hercules gain access, so have either champ 10 hits in the combo meter. Okay, so 10 hit meter gives him extra abilities. True focus, defender gains, ignores, evade, and miss. Okay, powered immunity. Whenever a champion would debuff their immunity, they generate power, so be careful on that. Each debuff the attacker gains defensive ability and make a stand. Defender is indefinite protection, reducing all damage. This goes by 90%, goes in cooldown after being knocked down. So I'm gonna have to knock him down occasionally to remove that protection. Gotta be careful on doing debuffs of what he's immune to. I've never fought him before, so I don't know what he's immune to. Okay, he looks like a regular dude, so I'm hoping he's not immune to too much, but I will soon find out. Although I see he's already got a feat completed, I'm sure that's not good for me. I really should learn to look at champion abilities before I try fighting him, but hey, that takes all the surprise out of it. So I see that special was super easy to Dex. So knock out some special fun right there. Get that S3, smack him with my tail. Do a nice little choke slam as he bounces off the ground. And roar like a thunder. Break on in with an unstoppable and unblockable going on. I see that S2. And I see the S2 is nice and easy to Dex. I love it when new champs are easy to Dex. And I go in, I got some damage on the S3. Now let's do some S2. Got Hercules cornered. So far, Dragon Man is doing well. I didn't really bring Dragon Man for any real specific reasons, honestly. I just wanted to use Dragon Man. So if I'm able to do pretty well on this fight with someone who wasn't like in any real specific reason of a counter, I'm fairly positive most champions should be able to get through this fight fairly respectable with some decent play strategy. And right now I'm just keeping him cornered. Dex seeing the very easy to Dex S2, so he's got a slow in between on the heavy. I'm going in on there, trying to Dex out that S2. And so far it's been easy breezy with Hercules. Pretty easy champ. I'll assume he's an offensive champ because he's surely not a defensive champ, which is good to good. The nodes are pretty respectably not too bad. Got some Incinerate going on. Go ahead and Dex that out. Smacky dab dab dab. Okay, I do see he's immune. I keep forgetting that he gains power on immunity. He's gained some immunity on stun. Doesn't seem to be always, so I'm sure it has something to do with his charges or his little flex muscle thingy up top that causes that. Eventually I'll look at his abilities, but he's pretty simple enough. Don't even have to overly analyze him. And looking through him and his little doohickey weapon club mechanism, now we see some immortality. So it looked like he was getting ready to go down. Looks like he has a similar immortality mechanism as Immortal Hulk, I believe. So it's not the way Kabam always does. They break out a new mechanism and they're probably going to overdo it a lot, I guess. But there we go. And that immortal thingy-majiggy didn't do a whole lot of nothing. He's down anyways. Easy fight. Dragon Man destroyed him. I don't think many should need a specific counter for that. But if you do, Dragon Man worked well. So let's go into 3.2 now. So we got 3.2 after going through 3.1 rather easily. Gonna find the easy path, and here we go. Gonna be starting off with Venom Pull. Need to take a look at the nodes. Whenever Mystic Attacker fills the bar of power, they gain passive prowess, increasing special by 80% for 15 seconds, max to 5 stacks. Nullifying a buff can make it permanent. Okay, so I will remember that. So I'm going to want Mystics. Want Mystics who can nullify, preferably, can be helpful to get those prowess permanent. And then I'm looking over here, the Heavy Baiter protection every 7 seconds. Defender against protection, reducing all damage by 10%. Interrupting the defender's heavy attack when cornered is also there for the boss. So we'll take a bigger look at, what's her name? America Chavez, I believe. We'll take a better look at the nodes for that boss fight once we get there. Just a basic quick look. And let's start off with good old Venom Pull, shall we? Just go ahead so you don't have to wait extended periods of time for this. Let me go ahead and use the energy refill. When I say I'm using a pre-fight for the Nullify for Diablo after the buff. This is only an R3, by the way, but I figured I'd bring him. I figured he would be fun. But when I say item-free walkthroughs, I'm referencing, like, you know, the important items. You know, you're, as far as getting through the fights, between no boosts, no revives, no health potions, none of that stuff. A little bit of energy. Don't really count those, especially when I'm overflowing. It's about getting through those fights, get through every fight without using any different resources. I try to do these also with my 5-star champs as much as possible, or at least I try to, or some 6-stars, as long as try to avoid using R3s as much as possible. Okay, we see the stun immunity that is happening after his specials on the nodes, so need to be careful on those. So again, stun immunity after the specials. So again, I want to be able to do Nullify. One reason why I went ahead and activated that pre-fight with Diablo, whose buff I really liked a lot. I do have a 6-star of him. If I ever awaken him, I will R3 him. I really enjoy him quite a bit. Super sustainable. Again, this one is only in R3. Oh, stupid parry not working. Again, mine is only in R3 5-star. Again, parry not working. This is, oh, come on, Kabam. Alright, again, be careful after specials on these nodes for that immunity. And you can either go to intercept, bait out a heavy, bait out a special, then attack him, or you could just wait for the timer for the parry for after the stun immunity wears off as need be. You do see this timer and that little green thing up there, but nullify that, giving me some permanent prowess along the way. Also activated that regeneration. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. With Diablo, I did a nice post buff, after buff tutorial on him very recently, a couple days ago. So again, I highly recommend that. And we see Venompool just going all ninja on me. Trying to, there we go, get that S2 out. Careful on that stun immunity. And Diablo, even as an R3, completely destroyed the fight. As an R3 5-star. Pretty dang good buff. Now, it is time to fight Mr. Heimdall. And looking at who I want to use here. And you know what? Let's go ahead and break out Dr. Voodoo. Look at this. I got 2 doctors on my team right now. Man, if they get hurt, I'm good to go. Of course, I have no clue what their doctors are in. And Dr. Voodoo, is he a doctor, medical doctor, just a made-up doctor, a fake doctor, honorary doctor? What was his dissertation in if he is a real doctor? So Dr. Voodoo and Dr. Doom on my team. The Docs, oops, took some hits there. I don't know if that was just sloppy play or if parry wasn't working on that case. And let's blame the parry anyway, so it's always fun to blame Kabam when we can. Alright, so let's go ahead and keep hitting, taking some extra blocks right on over there. I am trying to bait out his S1. His S1 is pretty easy to dex, but there we go. Again, the stun immunity after the special, so keep an eye on that. I decided to go ahead and launch an S1, give me some good poison going on. He had enough buffs on him. We're seeing over 2,300 damage per tick. So good poisons, just with only 8 poisons doing quite a lot of damage. I am trying to bait out that S1. There it goes. So I should, auto block. I was getting ready to say I should be wrapping up the fight in a second, and he blocked me, auto Lee, but that's okay. His KO-ness was imminent. No way around it, and he is down. It is now time to move on to Morningstar. Good old Morningstar. Who I just realized chest cavity doesn't seem to be attached to her hips. Got a floating chest. Okay, I'm kind of surprised. I've never really noticed that before. Okay, so I brought in Claire. Figured Claire would be good. So like a lot of these fights on these Cavalier difficulty event quests, most of the champs I bring to clear the path should work for most of the fights. However, Claire I did use specifically for this fight because of her bleed immunity. So I'm just keeping her on that specific mode so she could stay immune to bleed. Figure that will make things a little bit easier. So I would recommend a bleed immune champ for Morningstar fights. And usually. And so doing a little bit of dancing around with her. Stun immunity after the special. Trying to wear her down. She's down to a quarter of her health. And I'm going to go ahead and get ready to do a special on her. There we go, baited out that S1. So I'm at the S3 now. Get a little bit of charges on her with that heavy based on the bleed immunity of Morningstar, and launch that S3, and easy, good to go at that point. So another easy fight. Moving through the path, about halfway done with the path fight, so we're going to go ahead and use the teleporter, the portal, and go to the next 3 fights of the path. Next up is Punisher 2099. Looking at who I want to use. Taking a gander. And let's break out good old Diablo again. Let's go and use that pre-fight nullify ability. Only using the ones I want because I get extra attack and poison efficiency for unused ones. To start the 5, we see those 4 up there, but I explained that on the tutorial with him. Again, only an R3 5-star, so it might take a little bit longer. Again, those poisons going on from the heavies. Got him into overdrive. Building up the poisons, letting the damage melt. Oh, stupid parry. Well, broken parry just broke my Diablo, so that was no fault of Diablo. Maybe a little fault of mine because I should know by now to stop trusting that stupid parry that's so dang broken. But I wanted to show you more Diablo, so that sucks because he is really good even at a low rank now. Really enjoyed that buff, but that's okay since Kabam can't barely make their game playable. Let's break out Dr. Voodoo to try to finish this fight. And hopefully I learned my lesson again on parry broken. So let's go ahead. I see that he's getting close to an S3, but I locked out that S2. Got some good power S2. Going to go dex that part of the S2. And against, I guess I didn't learn my lesson on parry, did I? Looked like he broke right through the block on that one. I don't know. Fix your game, Kabam. Come on. Seriously. Okay. Let's go do poison. Got some LOA going on, so that would give me 3 poisons. Go ahead and smack Punisher 2099. Hit, hit, hit. Boom. Chuckalacka. Papow. And boom. Yeah. Who needs a working playable game when you could just tap dance your way through this silliness? Looking at old man Logan now. Go ahead and break out my Dr. Doom. Give it a little smack. Give it a little backhand. Backhand. Take that, guaranteed crit. Okay, we saw a stun immunity after the special from old man Logan. And pow. Layeth the smackdown. So hit, 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 backhand. Hit, 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 backhand. Let's break out the special 3 now. So we can get like a good old teleport into my castle, blow a hole through my own roof. Why not give myself some extra scenery, maybe some extra air ventilation blowing a hole through the roof. Okay, let's go ahead and hit Logan some more. Kind of controlling that power with those lights going on as I'm working my way up to another special. And he launches a special, trying to get off that. Oh, got up to S3 a millisecond too late. A little bit harder without Mystic Dispersion. A little bit harder. I have 0 points in Mystic Dispersion as I am running full suicides right now. But didn't matter. Busted through old man Logan with that second S3. Nevertheless. So now it is time to look at King Groot. King Groot. Who do we want to use here? And hitting Groot a bit. Okay, watching Groot, preferably trying to dex out that S1. Be careful of that stun immunity after the specials, of course. I'm doing a lot of nullifications on him as he is bleed immune. And which can help keep those regenerations in check, as well as stun immunity goodness. Take it off, nullify it. Good, making it easier to permanently gain those prowess. And good old Claire doing some damage here. This is my 5-star Claire. I do have an R3 6-star Claire, but I did not want to bring in my R3 6-star in here, so I decided to bring in the 5-star to keep it a little fairer, I guess. As I'm sure many of you who need help on these walkthroughs probably might not have a whole lot of R3 6-stars, so but 5 stars are fair game. And so let's go ahead and smacky dab dab down King Groot went. So let's get into the boss now. Taking a look at America Chavez. See all that? Come back. Become supercharged, 30%, aggressive, okay. Heavy baiter, every 7 seconds, protection, reduce damage, remove all stacks when interrupting defenders. So I got to interrupt her heavy attack, cornered, when damage over time debuff is applied, defender gains 100% more power. So I don't want to apply debuffs, preferably. If I do, be careful. When she's getting those protections, I got to bait out her heavy and then just interrupt it. So we see hope. Try to do it there. And first time finder, not even sure what her abilities are. So I do see that she's got a little gap in between hits of her heavy, but it's pretty quick. When I try to punish in between, but I did get it there. So just take a little practice on timing that heavy, as interrupting that heavy is going to be very important in this fight to keep damage going on. And with Dr. Doom now, just going to try to keep it simple. So getting a basic feel for her quick. I see a special one, seeing what's going on. Oh, a special one turned out to be pretty easy. Went ahead and get myself up to an S3 now. Go ahead and lock her and load her, bring her to my castle, and just blast a hole through her and my castle roof. Yeah, so let's go ahead, do some damage there, knock out some lights, control some power, working up my power, trying to get to another S3. There we go, and knocked out that extra S3 even without the Mystic Dispersion active. Back to the castle already. Needs another hole blown through. There we go. And let's get in there when the stun is active. And although I am getting damage over time with those shocks, I am trying to eliminate my shocks a little quicker with those backhands on some of the bites. But right now I got her pretty much where I want her. So I'm not really chilling right there. I'm not really too worried. Again, I went ahead and I baited out the heavy, just kind of held block until she threw a heavy, and that way I could interrupt that heavy. Again, very important on those protections. Something I kind of forget about, but gotta keep an eye on that. Otherwise, if you notice you're not doing a whole lot of damage, look at those protections, bait out a heavy, and then interrupt that heavy. Again, we're up to 3 protections now, trying to get the heavy going on, but I'll do some damage in the meantime. There we go. Got her to throw her heavy. I interrupted it. Got rid of those protections. Doing S3. And it is not looking good for America Chavez. No, it is not. There we go. Got her down to 3. 2%. 0. Face down. And Doom just gives that menacing look of ha ha ha. Alright, nice easy solo there. Pretty easy. That it wraps up chapter 3. Don't forget to have chapter 1 and 2. As always, I do the monthly item free Cavalier walkthroughs. Walk you through the nodes, boss fight, strategy, team selection, all that goodies. So don't forget to click that top left icon and subscribe to Mcoc Al Bundy Rules. Turn on notifications too. Be the first to see the new walkthroughs, my new tutorials. Got some more tutorials coming out. Damage highlights, strategy, all kinds of good stuff. Okay? As always, thanks so much for watching.